Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I am not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for this show. And as with every session of film therapy, I always have a guest patient. And my guest patient today is Mike Kalinowski. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
It's Matt Movies 611, first time catching the show live. So thanks for being here, Matt.
I've got a lot to live up to then, I think.
I know, right? He's like, I came just to see Mike.
What? Look at that. He's like, hey, 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 hey.
Hey, Eric.
That's like was it Raj from Rerun? Was it What's Happening? Hey, hey, hey. I'm dating myself
I always
now.
say it's McCona, hey, rather than
All right.
because his last name was Hey.
Yeah. Hey, Eric. What's going on?
So we have some of our regulars. Obviously, Star Drew is sometimes here as well. Usually here, Star Drew and Randall Sands and Eric Monroe. So
It's so funny when I see people that know me as Mikey Christmas, and where I know that where I think they know me from is DC Movie News. It happened on the show. It's a couple of, I guess it was a couple of years ago now, and my love of Christmas came out.
Okay.
I love Christmas.
Yeah,
and
I love
then
Christmas.
I think Johnny LaQuasto dubbed me Mikey Christmas.
Okay.
So and it's stuck. It is stuck. That is my thing now. So
always on DC Movie News, they'll refer to you as that every time.
Everywhere I go.
Okay.
It's just Mikey Christmas now.
Wow, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm very excited that I know this now.
People are like, you need to change your Twitter to that. I'm like, well, that doesn't really work,
Not with
professionally.
The acting
Yeah.
thing. Got it.
So
if this is your first time joining us, just like Matt Movies 611, here's how the show works or how the session works. I'm going to ask Mike 3 questions about film. They're the same 3 questions for every session. What is a film that inspires you? What is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy. And what is a film that helps you through difficult times? So I started this show because I suffer from depression, and I find that movies are an escape from that and kind of help me cope in a way. And that's basically where it stems from. I also want to say to you out there, I'm not a therapist. Mike is not a therapist. So if you do need help immediately, please call your doctor, call 911, call a friend, call someone that can help you right away.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
I do too.
Okay. I mean, I feel like most people.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially being out here in LA. But from where I was very introverted growing up, incredibly introverted, and that's what got me into drama and acting. And for a while, my parents thought I had a problem and this and that, but it wasn't until I went into acting and kind of found my niche. And it's just like I just found what I was supposed to do in life, and I think that helped me with it. This is something kind of, I guess, people that know me with the comic books. As a kid, especially in elementary and middle school, I would so into comics. I would go to school and I was so nervous and I hated it and depressed, whatever. But I would put myself as like, I pretend I was one day Peter Parker for the day, and I do hide my secret powers. But it helped me to live my life as Peter Parker in school. That got me through school. So that's where all that came from for me, for comics and love of comics. Yeah.
How long ago was that when you would do that?
Oh, that was, I remember middle school, because I was really much into, there's a comic called New Mutants, was like the teenage X-Men at the time. So I could see myself in those roles, but Peter Parker at that age, Dick Grayson, Nightwing character.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, yeah. And then you think depression and it's like, I want a medication for, because you think that's what you have to do and your parents don't know. And, but that really didn't help. And then there was St. John's wort, which is like the natural remedy, which you don't know if it's the placebo effect. Is it because is it you don't know? And after a while, it's just like, well, maybe life is just ups and downs, and you just have to find a way to deal with it, not deal with it, just balance it, and find, yeah, it's tough times all the time, especially out here in LA. It sucks sometimes.
Definitely in LA, and definitely being an artist for you, because it's the constant of rejection. Right? I mean, like, I hate to say that, but like, when I graduated,
absolutely.
when I graduated from USC, I can't remember who spoke, but it was a gentleman from Star Trek, and he was saying, like, his whole speech was about, because I was a theater major, his whole speech was about, like, you are going to be rejected the majority of your life.
Yeah.
And I was just like, sweet, thanks for those inspiring words.
It's
but it's true.
Yeah, and I guess you just get so used to it. But what's interesting to me, and this is not to get off topic, but I've recently gotten back into the dating scene, and with that and like online and all that, This is a whole nother level of rejection. I'm like, I deal with it professionally, and I got to deal with it personally. This is
Oh,
getting double
man.
rejection here. So it's, on the other hand, I'm like, well, it's my life as rejection. So,
We
but there's
live
some,
through it.
yeah, it's just, it's part of what it is. Some people that aren't in the entertainment industry, I don't know if they're like, wow, I couldn't do it. Like how
Mhm.
it's, they always say now you get rejected 99 times out of 100, but it's that 100th time where you get the job where it makes it worthwhile.
Right.
Sometimes it's 499 times, and it's the 500th time that you get it.
Right.
So, it's par for the course.
Yeah. See, Jake Silva, Mikey has been rejected.
Oh, yeah.
So it happens to everyone.
Everyone. Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. For no reason. You just don't know. Sometimes you want to
You
ask the
don't
lady, you're
know.
like, what's the deal? Why? But, you don't. You don't want to be a
I
jerk.
mean,
You
you
don't want to be a
could.
jerk.
But
No, it's life. It's, it's ups and downs. And like, I remember last year, 2016 for me professionally was a really bad year.
Hmm.
Just, couldn't not book a thing. And then
And you were on
2017,
Jane the Virgin,
that
right?
I
Or
booked. This is interesting. It was end of December. I was just like, man, I need a sign. I need something that I'm doing the right thing. I'm supposed to be out here. And then, like, the last day of the, technically before Hollywood goes on break for Christmas, I get the call that I booked the show. So I didn't
there you
start filming
go.
till January, but it was like everything fell into place. And then came January, I found out that I was going to be a recurring character on the show.
Nice.
And then since then, it's kind of steamrolled with a lot of wonderful jobs that have happened. So again, it was a year of terrible, and I was not really ever going to leave LA.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm just like, I was like, everyone feels it. You're like, am I doing what I'm supposed to do in life?
Yes. Yes.
And then
That's when my
something
host,
signed,
yeah.
and something happened and said, no, Mike, you're doing what you need to do. And this has been a great year so far. Next year could be bad, but so it's just, you take the waves.
You do take the waves.
Yeah.
My hosting coach says that when you're at your lowest, that's when you're like about to have something
That's
happen.
yeah,
And
absolutely,
I was like,
absolutely. So people
interesting.
that talk to me and ask, that, and they look to me like that I do well, and I say, guys, it's just stay the course, stay the course.
Stay the
Yeah, stay the
course.
course.
All right. Well, we're going to stay the course and we're going to get on to topic here with our
Boy.
first question, which is what is a film that inspires you
Like, it inspires me.
in any sort of way? Can be anything.
Well, I'll probably name a bunch, but first one will be Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Okay. Because your dog is named.
Yeah, I have a dog named Indy. Not
Okay.
because of indie rock or indie
Okay.
movies, which some people think.
My first guess was Indiana Jones.
Thank you. But
Okay.
you'd be surprised. People like your favorite rock music or your favorite kind of movie?
Huh.
No, Indy. His name's Indiana Bones. That's his name. Indiana
I
Bones.
love that so much.
But I remember seeing that movie as a kid.
Mhm.
I had it was like kind of like it wasn't a bullwhip. It was like more like a really long shoestring that was supposed to, with a rock attached to the end. That
Okay.
was my whip.
That's
But that was the
kinda
movie that
dangerous.
wanted me to be an actor. That's what I saw that inspired me. That was like, and I didn't know at the time what that meant to
Mhm.
do, but I knew I wanted to do that. And I remember telling my parents, that's what I want to do when I grow up. And they're like, you want to be an archaeologist? I was like, no, I want to be
A professor?
what he does, the thing, the
Mhm.
Harrison Ford thing. So that inspires me. Absolutely. Can I get like current? Well, like,
You can, but let me ask you
yeah.
about Indiana Jones.
Oh,
The
please.
Temple of Doom, you
Yes.
say. Because you saw it in theaters?
Yes. Raiders of
All
the
right.
Lost Ark. I was old enough, not old enough. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw the movie because I remember my babysitter asking my mom if she could take us. And my mom was asking, well, what happened? Like, is there anything? She's like, well, there's a scene, a guy gets chopped up in a propeller, but they don't show it. So I
Mhm.
remember that vividly in my head.
Okay.
I can attach memories to movies. That's how you probably do that too. Like some of
Right,
us that
of
with
course.
movies that are our lives, we attach points in our lives to them. And
Mhm.
I remember that specifically, but it was Temple of Doom. I can remember seeing it at the Coral Springs Mall. We were going shopping in, like, this is going to date me, but there was Burdines. You remember Burdines before it became like Macy's?
No.
There's a department store. It's called Burdines. It
I
was
have
Burdines.
never heard of
It was
this.
part of the mall. My mom was taking me shopping. We were going to see Temple of Doom. So
Wait, where'd you grow up?
Coral Springs, Florida.
Okay, because I missed that.
I'm from upstate New York. That's where I was
Sorry,
born.
my brain just went.
But and Temple of Doom was 83 or 85, probably 85, 83 in
If
there.
you're in the
Yeah.
waiting room, you can let us know.
So I was close to 10, 11,
Okay.
9. So I remember that more than I remembered Raiders
Mhm.
because
You saw it at the right time.
yes, where I was started to put hey, I'm going to see a movie sitting in a movie theater with my family instead of just, 5 or 6 years
Right.
old. We're like, oh, we're going to see the latest animated movie.
Right.
But again, growing up with a kid my age, we had Star Wars's, the Indiana Jones to go see in the theater as kids.
Yeah.
There was no, and Temple of Doom was the first one that was PG-13 because up until then,
Right. Yes.
it was G, PG, and R. So it was.
No, actually, Temple of Doom was not. What happened was
Oh,
it was
I'm gonna
PG,
learn something
and
today, aren't
people
I?
were pissed at like taking their kids
Because I was like
and it
10
was
years old at the time.
scary.
Yes.
And they were like, not doing this again.
So it was the one that
It
made
was that and Gremlins were the two that came out as PG, and they were like, no.
Yeah, 'cause
Parents were like,
Doom Shivake, and he's pulling his heart out and stuff. Yeah, as a
Yeah.
kid. So it's PG. Yeah, so that's why I went to see it.
So then Red Dawn was the first
Oh.
PG-13 movie
I remember
released.
Red Dawn, yeah.
Yes. So there you go.
So-
History right there.
Yeah. So that inspires me now. Also that, but Wonder Woman. I know it's so
yes.
new. I just saw it again for fourth time. That movie to me, I guess from what I feel, because I always have a hard time with people and how the reverence for Christopher Reeve's Donner Superman
Mhm.
film. I like it, but I do not get the reverence that people hold that film to. With just Christopher Reeve. But now watching that film, Wonder Woman, and feeling what I feel and how it just changed for everything, for women, for directors, women,
Right.
female directors, female-led movies, and myself being a comic fan, that movie's so inspiring to me. The message of love and anytime now in my life, I found over the past month where I'm either getting angry at someone or
Mhm.
something's happening, I try and look at it through the eyes of how Diana looked at every single person in that movie. I
just
think
through
that
that.
movie is going to stand the test of time like Donner's Superman is going to be that Wonder Woman film
I
20,
hope
30 years
so.
from now. I guarantee it. She is going to be the Wonder Woman for everyone's going to look to, 30 years from now, we'll get a new Wonder Woman, new actress in
Right.
the role. But I think everyone's going to hold her to that. And she has such a naivety and innocence in her.
Mhm.
And it makes you aspire to want to be that. It makes you want to be as good as she is. And
Yeah,
I know
I
it's
wanna be
new.
as good as she
You
is.
do. You just do. I find myself, and I get angry. You're driving in LA, the traffic, and it carries into, your work, and you try and
Mhm.
you're rude to people, and I want to look through the eyes of her now, and just
Right.
go, no, be better than that. Be a better, bring love into the world instead of hate and anger. So
Mhm.
that inspires me absolutely.
Inspired. I was inspired this past week. I went to a family camp. We have speakers in the
Mhm.
morning and then the evening. And one of the speakers was talking about attitude and your attitude and
Oh.
how that changes your entire day.
Yes.
Like if you want to be angry, you're going to be angry. Like if you want to hold on
Yeah.
to that, you're going to hold on to that. Like you can have moments, but it depends on like if you decide you're going to carry that with you. And I'm like, so you're right.
Yes.
I need to choose happiness.
For those of you guys that don't know out in LA what we deal with traffic wise, and then I go into work, and not one of those people at work had anything to do with what I dealt with in my car ride, but I could be just a jerk to them because of the stress of what I dealt with to get where I'm going. And that's not fair. And you're conscious of it, but you still, that's one thing to say, okay,
Right.
I shouldn't be like this, but another to change your,
I'm looking forward very much to self-driving cars because then
oh God, I can't wait.
I can just like read a book.
And I drive stick shift. I'm a man. I drive manual. So
Oh wow, you
yeah,
have
I
lots of
really, really the
intensity.
patience. So
You choose that
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
just
Okay.
because you like it, or
Oh no,
just
that was because it
because
was a good deal on the car
Okay,
10 years ago when I got it, and now to the point like I like not having a car payment, and I really want a Tesla. So I'm trying to
Yay,
hold out. I
Tesla.
think I've got like one more year maybe out of my
Mhm.
car. So by then my friend ordered the one and that are now being available now that they're getting ready to. They were the cheaper model, that,
Okay,
like the mass produced.
Yeah, you're on the list for
Yes,
it.
yes,
The
yes. He was
newest
on the
one.
list, and
Mhm.
I think their production's ramping up. So they said by about a year from now, it'll be like, hey, you can go to the dealer and pick one up. So I'm
Right.
trying to hold out for that. That's my thing. A manual transmission drives itself,
I
or
know what
automatic
you're saying.
transmission, I
I
should
know
say.
what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So,
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah.
Let's get into the second
All right.
question,
Second question.
which is what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy.
Now, with this, is this just the scene in the movie? Just
Could be
brings it all out of
one
me.
scene, or it could be the entire movie.
Okay, my
So
life.
either one. I never saw that with
Michael
Michael
Keaton,
Keaton and
Nicole
Nicole
Kidman,
Kidman.
93.
I watched the trailer and was like, no, not gonna do it.
Let me tell you about, and it's amazing. I'm so thankful that this movie has not tried to be remade. I guess it's been 24 years now. It's the story of that. You guys do not know this. Please go watch it. It's Michael Keaton. They're a couple. She is pregnant and it has cancer. And this is kind of cool because it was before the advent of cell phones and everything. It was just video cameras. So he is documenting his life so that when his son is born, that he has something to show who he was. But then, then he starts trying to teach him lessons like how to do a handshake, how to enter a room properly.
Yeah,
how to
what
shave.
I remember from the
You
trailer, and
go
I'm like, I
up
can't watch
or
this.
down, never sideways. Now I remember seeing this film. It was 4 guys and our girlfriend, so it was 8 of us. And we get out of it and we go to the bathroom, and all 4 of us guys are in the line because guys' bathrooms do that, they're next to each other, and we're bawling. All the 4 guys, we're bawling because it's all about the father with his unborn son, but his relationship with his parents is terrible because his parents, he left to go into marketing, and his parents owned like a scrapyard, and his younger brother stayed back and took on the family business. So the brother and him don't talk at all, and he's looked at it as this LA big shot, and the family, is this kind of lower class, blue collar, working class family. And then there's scenes of him coming home, and he's videotaping the family, wants to talk about them, and they just start all having it out, and it all comes out. And Michael Keaton is heartbreaking in every scene because he's like, how long have I been out here in LA? You guys haven't come to visit me once. And his parents and the music. Oh, I'm gonna start crying. Oh God, I'm gonna start crying.
I know some people that haven't visited me from my family.
And then he's outside with his brother telling him, he's like, man, I could have gotten you a job making 6 figures. He's like, I don't want that. I want the family. And there's a scene, they're driving home. They're on the shuttle to the airport. And he looks at his wife and she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And she's like, this is my last trip home. Like, he knows he's never coming home again. Right. And then, oh God, he told this scene when he was younger as a kid. He made a lie to his family that they were going to have for his birthday, they were going to have a circus in his backyard. And the teacher called him out on the lie because there was no circus. And they come home and his parents are yelling. He's like, why did you tell him there's going to be a circus? Why? There was no circus. So he gets to the point, it's later in the movie, Michael Keaton, he's got hospice now. He's got a hospice nurse. He can't get out of bed. He's, his parents show up. They fly. They fly to see him. And they're sitting there, and the father's in the bed shaving his son. And they're talking, like, oh, there's something outside. And they kind of wheel him around, and they open up a tent, and there's a circus in his backyard. So his whole family's sitting there, and they have the circus there. And it's just like, and he's like holding his parents.
So
every time his movie,
you connect to this as a movie on an emotional level because it was so emotional for you to watch it.
Yeah. And even then, like, my relationship with my parents is great. I have a great relationship with my parents. I love my parents. I get along. They come out and visit me all the time. But it was as I got older that I had this relationship with them. When I was in high school, I was really introverted. My brothers were really, my 2 brothers got along much better than I did. They had a lot more in common in sports and stuff. I was kind of the oddball for my family. And it wasn't until like college and then now, which I have a great relationship with my parents. But I don't know what it is about that movie. I can watch that movie, the music will start playing in the one scenes, and I'll just start bawling. I still watch it. It's not like one of those ones. And then there's certain movies where people they cry.
The emotional porn.
They won't. They won't watch. Like, nope, can't watch it.
Right.
But I watch it because maybe it makes you appreciate. Like, I'm not in that situation. I'm not in that, and it's so. Michael Keaton is so. They're both so genuine in it. It's such a. They don't make movies like that anymore. The small $20 million.
No, they don't.
The heartfelt. Just story about 2 people.
It's either like super low budget or it's super high budget. There's nothing in between.
$500,000 or the Avengers. So I'm kind of glad not as many people know about that movie because they're not trying to remake it. They're not trying to redo anything about it. But anyone that I meet, I always try and let them know, about that movie because it's phenomenal. But yeah, that's
it's one I need to put on my list.
You
but
guys,
again, it's one that I'm like, oh no,
you're gonna.
It's
a tough one.
Kids.
I tell people this. I tell people the concept, the plot of the movie, and they're like, "No, I'm not watching that. Nope, not watching it." I'm like, as an actor, I love it just because of but then I think about it, I know don't want to reboot it, but nowadays with everything with cameras and cell phones, it would be really cool, and it could fit again in now. It's just about a dad trying to, and he does live long enough to see his son born, which is awesome.
Well, now you've spoiled it,
No,
but
it's
that's
not it's
okay
not a
because you know
spoiler.
what?
No, you
Like
got to see it.
personally,
It's a great movie.
I'm more of a I like to know certain points of a film so that
Yeah.
I can decide if I'm interested in seeing it. And knowing more about it doesn't necessarily make it that I don't want to see it,
Right.
except for like a thriller or a horror
Okay.
film. Because what was it, Vanishing, with Kiefer Sutherland
With his
and
wife gets
Sandra
kidnapped,
Bullock?
where she gets kidnapped, right? And he's got to
Yeah,
find her, and he goes through all the
I don't
stuff
know
that
if it
he went
was
through.
that one
Oh,
or if that was a remake of one.
it
But
was
whatever.
his.
I wanted to see
But
one of those,
okay,
and then the whole thing got spoiled for me, and I was like,
because
"Oh, so
Kurt
I don't need
Russell
to
was in a
see it."
similar one, wasn't he? Kurt Russell was in a
Maybe
similar
that's who
one.
it was.
It was very much the wife was kidnapped,
Okay, but
and
that's all we can say.
yeah,
But what I'm saying is like a drama or something like that that I know enough
right,
about
yeah,
is I'm still going to see it if I am interested.
gotcha.
Whereas like a horror thriller, I might not see it if I know like the points.
Yeah, yeah, of course,
I think it depends on
absolutely,
the
yeah, because
genre for me.
with that movie,
Mhm.
with My Life, it's those things nothing really ruins it for you. It's
No,
it's going with the actors
not
on the
for me.
emotional journey,
Yeah.
yeah, of what it is, as opposed to with a thriller. If you know what's going to happen, you're like, well, I know what's going to
I mean,
happen
it's just
then.
like any sort of biopic or
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
history sort of
Yeah,
movies. You're like, the points.
right, right, right.
So does that spoil it for you? Like I know the points of
Yeah.
all of Titanic. Does that spoil it for me? No.
No, no. You know how it's gonna end. They're not
I
gonna
know
change
what's
the ending of that
happening.
movie.
Oh, good times, good times. Let's go into our third and final question, which
Okay.
is what is a film that helps you through difficult times? What do you like to turn on to just turn off
Okay.
your brain, maybe, or just to be
To
like,
like
yeah,
if
I
I need a
want to
kick
make
in
you
the
feel
butt to get going.
either that or be happy or something, whatever you
Okay.
want.
Well, what's coming up to the top of my head, because I talked to you before the show. Like I know
Mhm.
you listed the question, and I watched some of the shows. Like I didn't want to have specific ones because I wanted to see what came to my gut with
Yeah.
you. So
Mhm.
it would be Dragon, the Bruce Lee story
Okay.
with Jason Scott Lee, 1993.
Mhm.
And again, I wasn't a huge Bruce Lee fan growing up, but and I didn't know enough about him to know, okay, is this going to be stylized? Is it going to take? But at the core of what it is to me with him is a man that finds the love of his life, and just
Mhm.
through all his adversities,
Hello. We've returned.
it's intermission.
You
It
know
was a
what?
dramatic pause.
I forgot to say that there is an intermission that will
Yeah, that's
probably
what it is. I was
happen.
building the tension.
Yes.
So that's a commercial break for us.
But we're back. We're back. Let me let the chat know. We are back. Yay. Do they see this? I can't tell. We'll see. Okay. So Bruce Lee.
Yes, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, which I'm watching some of the chats. They're very surprised. I know a lot of people probably thought I was going to say like a superhero film or something, but that movie, that is the film I put in because there's such uh, Lauren Holly and Jason Scott Lee, and again, the guy doesn't look anything like Bruce Lee at all, but because he had the characteristics. But it's just the story about a man who was just so, his own culture was against him, his own race was against him, because he was
Yeah.
teaching Americans martial arts, and the film industry, which is a huge thing now. We're talking diversity, and we're dealing with
Right.
still that says something right now. That was back in the 60s and 70s, and now here we are 2017 Hawaii 5-0 with what they're going on with right now.
Oh
It's like
man. Yeah.
it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. But he persevered,
Mhm.
and it because it was about his love of his life. And for me, I have such a hard time, and I don't know about you because you have a family, is I have such a hard time with the work-life balance. And I'm sure everyone does, but with
Oh
you,
sure. Let's
that's got even more so than what I deal with. But I've been so struggled
yeah.
for so long because acting is what I want to do since Temple of Doom, which is
Mhm.
30 years now. And everything was always like work, save money, work, save all my money, don't take
Mhm.
vacation.
Yes.
Relationships suffer because I want to get to LA. I want to be an actor, and I got to be an
Yep.
actor in LA. So then I get out here, and then it's like, well, I got to keep making sure I make money, and I got to hustle and this and that. And this past year of my life, I've realized it's like, okay, I'm financially stable. My career's on a path which I hope it's going to be,
Mhm.
good. And I look at my life, and I have my dog, and I have best friends, and I have my family. but I don't have someone to share it with. And
Mhm.
now I look at that movie Dragon, and it's like everything he built was because of his wife. And he looked at her and he's like, "This is all because of you." You know, he
Aw.
shares that with her, and at the very end, I will never forget that they're on the scene of Enter the Dragon, and he's running up the stairs, and he's like, "Last shot," and she's like, "Go make it great," you know, because she brought the family out there,
Mhm.
and he turns back and he's like, "Linda, I never," he's like, "I never told you this." He's like, "I love you," and she's like, "You never told me that before." He's like, "But I meant it every day."
Aw.
And it's just
That's a
it's
sweet
so
story.
heartwarming, and I look at that because this past year, my life, it's been like I've closed off to so many people, you know,
Mm.
and potential relationships, and who knows that because it's my career and it's I got to focus on
Right.
this. And if I'm dating someone and we're worrying about a woman or this and that or my family, if I go home, I'm gonna miss auditions, and it's just like, yeah. But at the end of the day, if I'm sitting at home with my dog and I'm not sharing it with anyone or my family or someone special, what's it
Mm.
for? What's it for?
That's
You
the
know?
struggle of being an artist for sure, because you're an
And
artist.
so that movie, and Bruce Lee, he was a martial artist, but he was also an artist as well. He was
Mhm.
everything. Humanitarian, and to see him, and again, I only know it through that movie. I'd never really lived his. I mean, he died before I was born, so
Right.
his legacy lives on, and that movie influenced me. And I know some people might look at it that are Bruce Lee experts or martial artists and go, "No, this film is it's not his life at all. It doesn't matter. It's a movie and it's
Right. It's a
stylized. It's a
movie.
biography, and it's like
Mhm.
they're always stylized, and they take. But for me, and it's kind of like any movie. People they tear down Batman versus Superman, and they have a right
Mhm.
to. But because I love it, don't tell me I'm wrong for loving it.
Right.
Everyone has that
Let
problem.
me
Film critics.
have this.
Any of you guys that know the two of us and know people that are our circle, people love certain things,
People
but
do not want to hear my thoughts on
and they
Baby
don't,
Driver.
and they get bashed about it and stuff. I'm
Mhm.
scared to see the movie because I know so many people that love it, but I know a couple people that I've talked to that have been like, not good. So I don't know what I'm going in. I haven't seen it
I'm
yet,
on
so I'm
the
going in.
just okay. I'm
Okay,
on the just okay
that's where
train.
some of my friends were. But as far as dragons, so that inspires me
Yeah.
whenever I'm feeling like, oh, let's get me down, or
Mhm.
I got to refocus and focus on the people in my life
It's
instead of
hard.
the you know.
It's the constant struggle. I
It
go
is,
through
it
that
is,
also. I
yeah,
feel like it's like, what do I want to do? I take these hosting classes,
right.
and originally when I started that a year ago now,
Mhm.
like I just wanted to be better at this. Like I have 6 degrees of feature film. I wanted to be
You
better
want to for your what
for
you're
my
doing?
own
Yes, yes,
channel. Like I wanted to be the best that I can
right,
be as a
yeah,
host for my own channel. And I would love to be invited to be a guest on other shows. Like
right.
that was my goal. Like maybe I can get other eyes on this so then I can go and like
Sure, absolutely.
probably not get paid because that's not what happens. You
Right.
don't get paid.
No,
But then you get to go and talk with other people
yeah,
about film. And that's where my cup gets filled, if you say, or my bucket gets filled
absolutely.
by talking with other people about film and the importance of film. And
That's why I was here today. I was like, oh, I hope I'm not going to go too long because I could talk forever on movies.
and then I have that struggle of I'm at the point where I'm like, why am I doing this? Am I still doing it for
Right,
this reason? Or do I want to work for Fandango and get paid to be a host for them? But then I'm like, but then I don't own that content. And so then I
right,
have
right.
this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
like struggle for that. And then I
Sure.
have the struggle with my kids, like in terms of should I be focused on just this or should I be focused on just them, and can I be focused on both? And
That's
it's very hard to be like, okay, but I'm at home but I'm creating content and I'm producing, so I'm not making money,
you
but it's
guys,
just really hard. I have that constant struggle of I'm at home, I should be with my kids, and I'm with them as soon as the show's over. It's like I go get them and then
right.
we're here all the time, but I feel like I'm constantly on that
I can't
struggle.
imagine that. I don't even have kids. I don't have married. I don't have a girlfriend. So it's like
Yeah.
to see people that have families and finding the balance and not
Mhm.
losing themselves so it's just their children and you're living your life just for your children, because your life's
Right.
too many people that I do know that's their lives completely have stopped, and it's for the children, and that's admirable, and that's a
Right.
choice. But like my best friend and his wife, he just is now just jumped to a new airline, and he's in
Mhm.
classes for that, and he's gonna miss the whole summer with them. But the wife is in because they have found that balance of doing
Yeah.
what they love, but also raising Three Incredible Boys.
Right.
So you guys found it, and my God, I hats off to people
It's still a
and anyone
struggle.
listening out there that can do that, because I do not know if that is in my future,
But it
but
could be.
it could be, and I don't close off to
We
it. Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
So many things could happen this year specifically. 2017 is
It's
your
been a
year.
great year. It's been a great year
Good.
so far. So
Good.
I'm enjoying where it's been going.
You're all over the Schmodown now. So
Yeah.
that's good. You're the darling.
Oh boy, they're talking about they say, you know, they're my Batman and your Catwoman. So that outfit was pretty impressive.
Do I have to
That
keep
thing was
coming back
that
up
was,
that
was
now?
impressive. I saw that. I was like, oh, that's a really good one.
Oh, God.
And then didn't someone say that they wanted us to recreate because Batman just proposed to Catwoman in the comics? That's
I
a new
think
thing. And
Ken's
I
in
think
here.
was
Ken
he on there?
from
Ken, you're the one that said
Chicago.
that.
Yeah,
He
and I was
wanted
like,
to
this is
do
some
the.
great fan fiction.
I was gonna
don't
say
know
we
what
got
you're
some
talking
Schmodown
about.
fan fiction happening there.
I don't know. I don't know if that creativeness is gonna
Yeah.
be allowed in that space. But
Who knows?
maybe an extra
Maybe.
video.
Because I have plenty of bat suits, plenty of different bat suits that I can pull out there.
Good times, good times. Well, I think we've come to the end of our show.
I could talk forever
I
with
could
you.
too. I mean, I
This has
just
been therapeutic. Maybe
that's,
cry today.
that's why we're here. And then the good part about the show
Uh-huh.
is that it's open so that you can always come back again
I'll
because you
always
can
come
talk
back.
about different
That's
movies.
what I'm saying. Like with
That's
Wonder
just how
Woman, it was,
works.
you know, you saw me 2 months ago, I wouldn't have been there. But
Mhm.
movies that can come in and into your life and change you. I love
Right.
movies. You love movies. It's
Yeah,
what we. Some people love sports. I don't get it. I don't get the
I
passion of going to
don't.
like a sports bar and watching sports and yelling at a screen. But I'll sit there and stand up and cheer in Wonder Woman when she
Hmm.
moves into no man's land and start crying.
But
So
that's also why the Schmodown is important for people because
it
that's their
is.
sport,
Yeah, it is.
right?
It's true. It kind of
So
combines the best of both worlds. It really
there
does. They
you
got their
go.
fantasy football.
And the
That it does.
wrestling
And the
and
wrestling and the
yeah,
wrestling. Yeah,
there you go.
it
All
does.
encompassing. Where can everyone that is in the waiting room find you?
Guys, I'm at Mike Kalinowski. You can find my name anywhere. Google me. Google Mike
Mhm.
Kalinowski. You'll pop up. My website is on there,
Yeah.
but
It's
it's my Twitter
always
handle. I'm very Googleable, I found out.
and it's always going to try to autocorrect it to Malinowski for
Yes, it will
some
for some reason.
reason.
And I know a Jesse
Why?
Malinowski. He is an actor in Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
but it's Kalinowski. I don't know why. Maybe there's more. I know there's a football
Hmm.
player, Kalinowski, or hockey player, but I'm the top person that pops up. So you'll find me. Yeah, I'm everywhere. Same thing. What's going on? What are we looking?
Jake
Oh,
Silva says, "How about Miss Movies on DC Movie News?" I mean,
absolutely. You want to?
sure.
If you want, come on
Why
on.
not?
Absolutely.
Why not? I will talk some
Absolutely.
DC.
We love having women on the show. We've actually had some women that have kind of become semi-regular because
Nice.
the fans love you guys. So hey, it's
If
great.
I
It,
don
it
the
gets to be a
Catwoman
sausage
outfit,
fest sometimes. There's 3 guy hosts and Roxy, so it becomes a bit of a sausage
Mhm.
fest on that show.
Does it rotate? Like not everyone's
It's
always
always the
there.
4 of us. It tries to be the 4 of us, but
Mhm.
like today, Roxy's not going to be there. I'm
Sure.
usually the odd guy out.
Okay.
Just because of work or auditions or something, which I hate to miss the show. But we tape 2:30 today, so it's a weird
Mhm.
time for
That
us.
is
It is an awkward time, but since the
Mhm.
studio's so busy, that's what they have us down. So,
Got
but
it.
yeah,
Got it.
absolutely, I'd love to have her on there. That'd be fantastic. See, look at that.
Yeah, there you go. See, me going on other shows.
There you
That's
go.
why I
Yeah,
did all
and our
this.
fans on that show, they're phenomenal. The fans of
I
DC
bet.
Movie News, they are, because I've seen some chats. You're
Mhm.
not supposed to read the comments and stuff on
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff because
Mhm.
sometimes I went down
It
that
can be
rabbit
rough.
hole.
It
It's
can be
rough.
rough.
But DC, they are great. Yeah,
Well,
they've got
good.
great
I love
fans.
it.
Yeah.
You guys can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies. I'm trying to
What,
back off on that a bit
on the
because
Miss
I'm
Movies?
there just too much.
Oh, on
I'm there
Twitter?
too much. I'm
Someone
too available.
someone asked me that the other day, like, Mike, how much do you spend online with Twitter
Mm.
interacting with people? Because for me, it's a fan base, and
Yeah,
they've been
right.
great. And I've gone recently. Mr. Bibiani and Mr. Roca
Mhm.
had the little Clue argument that popped up the other day,
Yes.
and I was chomping at the bit to not jump in,
Uh-huh.
as like, because I was like, I feel a certain way about this, and I don't want to get into it.
Oh, we'll have to talk
Um,
about that in a little bit.
yeah, yeah. So I refrained. I did not chime in a comment, but
That became a Twitter moment.
oh,
You
it
would
was
have been a
awesome.
part of
It was
it.
awesome. Yeah, watching it unfold.
Amazing. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you all for joining us today. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye. 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 Bye.